Well, it's Friday. You know what that means, folks. It is, of course, time for the Fun Zone. I am the Jeraffemy. I am joined by the Felflowne. And
yo,
we're here to have a chill time. We're going to do a bit of a chin wag. Got some things to talk about. Nothing bad by any means. Well, I hope so. But we're going to have a bit of a chin wag. Going to have a little bit of a fun natter, as it were. We might play some games on the Switch. Who knows what? This is very much just a free-flowing stream. What we are going to be talking about, though, is how the anime industry is changing once again. It seems to change every year at this point in some way. We're going to be discussing some of our 2026 stream plans, given that this is sort of now technically towards the end of the year streaming-wise. We've got some ideas and stuff that I have thrown at Claire, and Claire has gone, yeah, sounds like a plan.
yeah, sounds good. Yeah,
so we'll be discussing a little bit of that. But Claire,
yeah.
Before we go any further, I must ask, how much has the doggo irked you today specifically?
She's actually been fine today. She was not very well a few days ago. So she's kind of got a reset on being annoying, and the fact that we're just all really glad that she's better, you know? She's currently, well, I don't know if I can show you.
Aww.
She's just being flat on the sofa right now. Hi, Stitch. How you doing, baby?
Hey, Stitcher. Welcome.
Yeah, no, she's fine. She's been fine. I had to carry her up the stairs the other day, and I put her down to get my breath at the landing, and she turned around and ran straight back down again, so I had to lift her up again.
Oh, that doggo. Hey, Matty, hope you're doing well. Matty, I know you can't stay, and you actually lead me into a very convenient moment for me to share a link and say that Damus is continuing over on the Decadane's channel from 8 PM tonight. Appreciate folks maybe going over there to watch that, but we're, like I say, not got a massive amount planned for the stream tonight, as it were. So yes, that is continuing, and I believe also, Claire, I'm not sure if you're aware, but they have hit, I think what was if I remember correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong, Matty, was the first kind of big target goal. Like, there have been some stretch goals added already, but I believe I think
Ian did mention that they'd hit a target. But you know what Ian's like when he's in like presenting mode. He kind of says it really, really fast, and my brain couldn't say it.
They have hit 500. They've hit 500.
Yeah.
Over
cool.
500. The next big goal is 700, based on me looking at the page. In fact, you know what? Can I load it up quickly? Hang on, let me see if I can get. Can I get technology to work? This is the next burning question. There you go. Here is the Damus page on Tiltify. £510 currently. Bunch of milestones. So at £250, it was Dane completes a game in one sitting in 2026. At £500, there will now be a special Hot Ones inspired Ask Me Anything stream.
Oh, I think that's the one today. Yeah, because Ian posted something about it earlier, being like, "What have I done?"
I think.
So yeah, if you like seeing Ian suffer, then tonight's the one.
Actually, I think tonight might be a try not to laugh hot sauce one.
There's definitely hot sauce involved.
Yeah,
though.
definitely. And of course,
you don't want to laugh while you're eating hot sauce. It'll go up your nose, and then you'll die.
And then, of course, at £700, that's the next big stretch goal, as it were. Community choice, 25k walk, or an omake, however you want to pronounce it, performances.
I mean, omake is the way you pronounce it.
Correct. I've heard people pronounce it other way. And of course, Decadane raising money for Samaritans. If you want to get more information, folks, you can find the link in the chat accordingly.
Oh, I nearly shat my pants because I thought he was doing Salvation Army and I was going to have to punt him off a bridge. But no, Samaritans are fine. Salvation Army can get in the fucking bin though. So yeah, go give them some money. They're good guys.
So Claire, I haven't done the customary British weather question, British-based question of how's the weather up in Glasgow, because I can tell you it was forecast for bright sunshine down the south coast. Freaking rained, and I've been hauling scenery today. Unimpressed I was.
It's dark outside, so I don't know what the weather is. Although we did have a convoy of trucks earlier with all these flashing lights. I could not tell you what was going on. No one else seemed to know what was happening. It was just there were just all these cars and trucks. No flags or anything. Just like there were like various construction vehicles, and like even the cars that were involved had like flashing lights on the dash, but they weren't like police cars. I have no idea what was going on.
I know exactly what it was.
Up and down. Huh?
I know exactly what it was. It was the procession for the Katya army. All hail Katya.
Well, they clearly had the wrong address, and I was happy about that. The last time I saw something like that was in the daytime, and it was a pro-Palestine march, like literally all things out of the car windows and stuff. And this was so long ago that I didn't even recognise what flag it was. You know, can you imagine not recognising the Palestine flag now? You know, like it's just unheard of. That being said, did I show you how similar all the flags around that area are? And I was like, someone is messing with me.
I don't know if you did,
it's just everybody's. The flag of Jordan is like the whole thing, just with all the colours like rotated once.
Matty says, and because we went past £300, he'll be watching the entire penultimate series of Nightmare in one sitting.
Oh gosh,
Matty, strap in on that one. I think it's a fair thing to say.
Yeah. There's all the kind of level of 90s vague sexism that comes with that, which is kind of not bad, but just like there, you know, it's just there, like an uncle that you don't like talking to at Christmas.
The 90s was a place. It's a time.
It was the history. The past is a different country, as they say.
There you go. There you go. So, Claire, first tangent of the evening from me. You know how I am one to partake in opening Pokemon packs.
You've been known to dabble. Yes, this is true.
So I was in town the other day having to run some errands, and the market was on. Because there's like a weekly market around where I live, and one of the vendors there is like very much the trading card like vendor of the market. So I thought, oh well, as I'm here, I'll go and have a look. I bought some packs and a few bits and bobs. One thing I did buy was a pack of the Eevee only set. You may recall I opened previously on stream.
Oh, I've heard of it. Yeah.
So I opened this pack up, and yeah, I got some really fun little cards. You know, I got like this fun Glaceon with like a full kaleidoscope effect in it.
Oh, okay. Sorry, the yellow background threw me there. But
there
yes.
You go. I've got this lovely Eevee chilling with a Pokeball.
Oh, he's chilling.
So chill.
You're building something up to something, Jeremy. I've already been gotcha'd once today.
Then got a Vaporeon with an energy symbol.
Japanese one. Yeah.
And then
are they all Japanese?
Oh, they're Chinese.
Oh, Chinese, sorry.
And then the final card I got, which I'm going to tell you already is sleeved, is this one.
Umbreon!
It's Umbreon chillin', but Claire, there's a crucial thing about this card.
Yeah?
This is the chase card of the entire set.
What does that mean?
It means it's the one that people really, really want badly. And it's a Chinese exclusive artwork one, that's why as well.
Oh, right. So, okay. Is it a chase card because it's exclusive artwork?
Mostly yes, but of course, inevitably, that card also goes for a fair penny as well. So I think that card alone is worth like £100 plus.
That's nuts.
I know, not that that's what it's all about with me.
Got a rat on it.
Right, but yeah, I just read out the fact it's like Chinese exclusive artwork as well. So this hasn't been released in any other set outside of China.
Is there something hiding in the tree behind him?
I don't think so. Hang on.
No, it's flowers, I think. It's hard for me to make out.
Let me try and bring up a better picture online, actually. I'll see if I can do that quickly, and I'll bring it up on screen. Umbreon Gem Pack 2. Let me see if I can bring up a decent picture of this. Because seemingly there are like 4 cards of this kind of type in that set that are like sort of Chinese exclusives. And in fact, you know what I'll do? I'll try and bring up all 4 of them in a thing. I might be able to find a listing on eBay or something and share a picture. Open a new tab. Right, I'll see if I can make this work. This might be a bit awkward, but it's just a listing I found on eBay, so give me a second. Here we go. So, we've got the top 2, which are Leafeon and Sylveon, in a sort of Chinese exclusive set, as it were. Like, the Sylveon one is so cute, and that Leafeon pose, it just reminds me of my cat. And then we've got Eevee smiling wildly there.
Oh yeah, they're all in the same forest or something, aren't they?
Try and zoom in a bit more there. And then you've got the Umbreon one next to the Eevee, which is the one that I pulled.
Yeah.
Just, I love the design.
Katya is just not moving. He's trying to get her to go outside, and she's just staring at him like, absolutely not. Oh, okay, there she goes. Go on, baby, you can do it. Lever yourself up. There we are.
But yeah, I just because I bought a few packs, had that one, and pulled that, and thought, oh, that's really cool. Like, I wasn't.
It's really cool. Well done. Your luck strikes again.
Right, exactly. I think I shared that with a mate, and he just went, dude, your pack luck is insane. And I just said, I'm just a guy. I'm just a tall bloke. Sorry.
I'm just a guy with some cards.
I is just tall bloke.
Yeah, like the taller you are, the more luck lands on you. That's an old ancient saying that I just made up.
Hey, you know what? If that could be a real saying, I'll take it. Honestly, like
it is now because I said it on the internet.
There you go. You said it on the internet, so it must be real.
Yeah, the only way you can make things more real is if they rhyme. So Jeremy is very tall. Which cards will he get that he wants? All. That wasn't my best. I'll come back later and try again.
It's funny though, because I bought like a couple of English packs as well, because they had some, and I thought, oh, cards in English, that's a rarity nowadays. And I've got nothing from those. So it's clearly,
shit all.
Literally, it's just like the Japanese and like Chinese ones where I'm getting the good pulls. And honestly, I'm perfectly fine with that, because that Chinese all EV set is great fun.
Oops, all EVs. They missed a thing not calling it Oops, all EVs. I'm gonna find the frickin' thing and Photoshop it into saying Oops, all EVs. Chinese EV look. Sorry, continue. EV cards.
So let's wind back a week, Claire, as it were. Let's wind back, because you will recall that last week I was in Glasgow for a day.
You were, very briefly. I saw you.
Indeed, and it was a wonderful time that was had. And since then, in fact, today, things have changed in the anime industry. I caught up with a lot of anime industry folks last week, and it's amazing how much can change in literally a week.
Well, it's amazing how much can have been going on that you didn't know about, if that makes sense.
Right, exactly. I'll see if I can pull up the article quickly, because that would be far easier to do.
Variety, I think, was the first people to break the news in the UK, and Anime Limited have got a post on their blog.
I've got Hollywood Reporter, because I can get by various
Hollywood
things.
Reporter, I think, is just a mirror. Is that the pack, Jeremy, the one with the Sylveon on it?
Yes.
Ugh. Okay, cool.
Right, bear with me, folks, and I shall load up article accordingly. So,
can I just tell you? Right. Okay. So, if it's the same article, okay, I'm just going to go and tell the story, because Keith got me. He got me good, and he doesn't always get me, because I'm usually ready for his bullshit, right?
In fact, wait, Claire, sorry. Before you say that, disclaimer from us. I used to work for Anime Limited for 5 years. I now do freelance work for them, and you, of course,
you do not work directly for them. I don't work for them either, and I never have.
Exactly.
My husband works for them, but he found out at the same time as everyone else. So like, there's nothing. We are not affiliated with them.
There you go. So just to say that out loud now, so we've covered our bases.
Not that we're going to say anything that isn't public record.
No, exactly. Exactly.
But this is just a little bit of like, it makes me laugh, because there are so many nerds all over the internet who would love to know the inside track on this, right? And although I don't know the whole inside track, I certainly know some funny shit which they would kill to know. And I'm going to talk about it on this stream that nobody knows is happening, and they'll be like, "Oh wow, really? There's someone with insider knowledge." Anyway, makes me laugh. So Keith, I had some weird sleep over the last few days. I slept for like 20 hours yesterday, and I woke up several times. And the last time I woke up and stayed awake was about 10:30 this morning. And Keith came into where I was sleeping, and I could immediately tell something's going on, right?
You just know, you get the vibe.
Well, this is what I said to you in a group chat earlier, Jeremy. I was so half asleep, I honestly thought he was April fooling me, because I was like, what is happening? Because that was not something I expected it to come out and say. But one thing, so the thing that the article won't tell you, and the thing that I will tell you, is that my husband is the production manager, or a production manager for Anime Limited, and one of his biggest concerns has been, for the last few years, since the acquisition by Plyon back in 2020, whatever it was, that Plyon, if left to their own devices, without, say, if something changed in the management of Anime Limited, like if someone got headhunted or you know, God forbid, someone had to retire for medical reasons, Plyon would not be able. They just don't have the skill set or the experience or the connections to go out and actually buy titles. And that was one of Keith's main concerns, because he doesn't have that either, right? And it's one of the reasons, I would argue maybe it's the biggest reason that Anime Limited has done so well, is because it has this thing called Andrew Partridge, who basically is the only person in the entire goddamn world who can do what he does, right? And there was always a bit of a worry if Plyon were let loose on what Andrew has been doing now, they wouldn't match up, and that would have a real impact on the company, you know, the products. And that's not like a diss on Plyon, they just didn't have the experience to draw from. I mean, you know Andrew, I think most people in the anime UK scene know Andrew, and what even if they don't know exactly what he's done, because I don't think anybody knows anything. I don't think anybody knows everything. There we go. You know, he's worked for several different companies, and he's just kind of like, he's got this kind of like skill set and this experience that is just, it's unique, you know.
It's unmatched, quite frankly.
Unmatched, exactly. I mean, and while I'm not saying nobody else could be, you know, like could go out and find these titles and bring them to the UK, we weren't sure that Plyon were going to be able to, you know. And
for want of better phrasing, Andrew has a long track record based on the relationships he has established in his career.
Yeah, it's the interplay of relationships, of experience, of just having really a good nose for what people are going to like, you know. And that was what I think Keith was most concerned about if Plyon were ever given the reins fully for whatever reason. Which, it could have happened. At any point, it could have happened, right? Things happen. So I'm just going to quickly jump ahead to near the end of the article, which if it's the same article, I don't know. But the way that Keith told me what was happening is he said that he's so relieved now because, and that's the thing, I couldn't understand why he was as relieved as he was, because obviously being bought by TOHO is big news. You know, Anime Limited has been bought by TOHO. This is a big thing. And as part of the arrangement, I believe Plyon and TOHO have some kind of strategic arrangement as well.
Yeah,
because that's the thing.
Like a European expansion, I believe it is.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what's going on, but it seems like almost everybody has got everything that they wanted. But I jumped in at this point because I've just been letting Keith talk, and then I just went, oh wait, hang on, you've worked with TOHO before, right? Like, because obviously they did the Godzilla -1 release over here, and
Your
stuff
Name,
like that.
all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that was mentioned as well. So they TOHO. Andrew's not the only one with a working relationship with TOHO. You know, the whole of Anime Limited have got one on some level. And I said, oh, that's great. So that means that, you know, you'll have access to their experience and stuff. And while it's not Andrew, it's still better than maybe, you know, Plyon would have done. And Keith went, this is where he got me, Jeremy. He got me real good. He went, yeah, I've worked with the guy we're going to be working with. And I was like, I have to admit, I don't remember all the names of the people he says, because a lot of people, you know, a lot of industry people come over, you get handed a card and you're like, great. And he's got a terrible memory. I've got a worse memory for people who I didn't meet, you know. So I thought, he's going to say this name and I'm going to have to go, like, cool. But basically, I'm like, if you know him, great, you know. And he said, yeah, no, we're going to be dealing with their creative control officer. I've met him before. And I was a bit like, oh? And before I could even ask the question, he went, yeah, it's a guy called Andrew Partridge. And I was like, you son of a bitch.
Right?
I literally said to Keith, you got me. You got me good, Keith. You got me, and you don't usually get me. So when I said in the chat earlier that it's weird because almost everything has happened exactly as well as it could have done, this is incredible. Like, I was stunned. I don't know how you felt about it, Jeremy, but like, So to clarify, if no one was following, who knows everything that me and Jeremy know, Andrew is going to be taking on a job working for TOHO, which I believe is in this article. He'll be joining the management of TOHO. If it's not in that article, it's definitely in the Variety one, because there's a quote from him as well. Andrew Partridge will remain with the company and join the leadership team of TOHO. There you go. Yeah. So he's not having to relocate to Japan. He's going to be between London and Glasgow, which honestly is kind of what he is already. But importantly, he's not going to be doing the parts of the job that I think he didn't like. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And he's going to be more freed up to do the parts of the job which he does like and that he's the best at, you know, which is an incredible acquisition for TOHO, you know, even without the rest of the company attached, you know. And I was just like, not only is this great, it's not like cutting ties with Plyon entirely, because that's another thing. I was just like, how on earth do you sell a company that you don't own? Like, what? But apparently this has been going on for months, obviously. Like,
oh yeah, I can imagine it.
I don't know. At first I heard about it, you know, like, obviously, no, I'm just the wife of someone who works there, you know, it just, but it is really quite incredible, the maneuvering that has happened and the deals that must have been made. And honestly, I can't see a downside, can you?
No, and
which is weird.
What? So okay, so let's do this at a two-pronged attack. So if you can, and I'm sort of speaking very freely here, but roll with me on this. If you compare to how Crunchyroll effectively, like Funimation and Crunchyroll effectively had to merge because of Sony. And there were a bunch
I assume I wasn't.
And there were a bunch of licenses involved with that Crunchyroll then took control over, and then they bought out. Sony then bought out Right Stuff, like the company / Nozomi Entertainment, which handled Gundam in the US and stuff. You look at, and there was like an outstanding Dirty Pair Kickstarter and stuff. There's been a lot of things that were left outstanding that really weren't / haven't been totally resolved from a public-facing point of view, I'll say. Just in case they have...
What, with that particular merger?
Yeah, so for example, Gundam releases in the US are basically non-existent now. Like Crunchyroll released Witch from Mercury, I think, and maybe one of the films recently. But in terms of keeping the older titles in print, they're basically all out of print now.
So I assume that's for physical media, right?
Correct, yes, for physical media, yeah. And I think there was an
issue...
just
fuck America, I guess.
Well, this is the thing. It's like sometimes, you know, people are looking forward to, everything's going to be in one place. But the other side of the coin is the companies that have sold those licenses are like, well, hang on a minute. We did this on the basis we're selling it to you.
Yeah. So that they might be like, well, now we need to renegotiate everything.
This is the thing. So it throws a lot of murkiness and muddy waters into the fray. So again, hypothetically here, one would assume that Anime Limited is going to continue as is, much like G Kids have done, which also got bought out by TOHO.
Well, yeah, because TOHO bought them, last year?
Exactly. Yeah. And one assumes, assume, it would not surprise me if down the line G Kids is rebranded to something specifically TOHO US or something. Hypothetically.
I mean, that would be great, because G Kids is a stupid fucking name, but, you know, that's just my opinion.
But it also wouldn't surprise me if a similar thing happened with Anime Limited long term. Like, not immediately, but in the longer term, it wouldn't surprise me if they're maybe fully rebranded to TOHO something, as it were. It wouldn't surprise me, but
who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
It's not a priority, I think.
That's the thing. Like that's like long-term thinking here, but it does make you wonder. Okay, so they're now owned by TOHO. Some of those licenses that they have, though, are not from TOHO. So there is an element of what will... Again, this is way above my pay grade for anything, but...
No, I know what you mean. But I mean, at least if TOHO is the people who are, like, at the top, it's like, guys, they're just down the road. Go and talk to them yourself.
Right,
you know,
exactly.
Like, down the road and now drink with them.
But I think the thing we probably can
me over, you do it.
But I think the thing we can safely say, and I will speak very freely on this, is... Based on how, from a public point of view, things went down in the US when it came to, say, how Crunchy handled stuff,
yes,
I would like to think, in fact, I bet a freaking pizza on it that Anime Limited / TOHO UK, whatever they're going to be called in the future, but we'll just call it Anime Limited for ease, they are going to handle all of this stuff a bajillion infinity% better than what was handled over there.
I'm not even gonna take you on that bet, dude, because I've seen how badly this can be done.
Right, exactly.
And I know, if I know anything about the bastards that work at that office in Glasgow, they're all stubborn motherfuckers. And they have this annoying habit of wanting like really good products and like not allowing shit to get out. So, you know, I mean, it may kill them, but who cares? It's all for the product, isn't it? It's all for the product.
I mean, another thing as well is looking very, very positively now, rather than kind of some doom and gloom you could argue that I've just thrown in there in a hypothetical way. But
No. I mean, that will be something that somebody with the pay grade for it will have definitely thought of.
Exactly. But the other way to look at it is this is testament to how damn well Anime Limited has done. Like, even from the days when I was there, since then, how far things have come on leap and bounds. The titles they've managed to get, the headway they've managed to make in certain ways.
Yep.
Without
it's like I said, it's all lots of things coming together. It's not just one person. It's everything working together.
Everyone's played a part, no matter how big or small, in that company's
even
history.
you, Jer, especially you, because you know you're part of it. Even though you're not part of it anymore, you know, like you definitely worked there and helped
at
make
arm's length, as it were.
And your arm's length is real long.
Right, there you go. But yeah, the way I really look at this is just testament to. I don't want to say this is the reward, but this is
no. But I know what you mean.
But this is almost this is recognition.
It's like a payoff.
This is significant recognition for all of that hard work for everyone that's been involved.
Maybe?
There you go. Much better word.
Validation, yeah.
Yeah,
and it also, to me, and I don't know if Keith picked up on this as well, is there's been a few times over the last few months where he's been like pulling his hair out and he's gone and spoken to someone and the person's just gone, I understand, but hasn't offered a kind of like, but why don't we do this?
Yeah.
And that's when Keith was like, oh shit, it's really fucked. It's probably because this person was just thinking in the back of their head, just a little bit longer, just a little bit, and I can tell you don't need to worry about it anymore.
So just a few more weeks,
just
please.
a little bit longer. Yeah, kind of thing, like, yeah.
But yeah, so I'll tell you how I found out this news.
Go on. Oh, I have to say, I have to apologise to Hanley, but I'll explain why in a second when you've told your story.
Well, funnily enough, he's involved in this, but
no, I know he is. You told me. Yeah, go on.
So, for context, folks, down where I live, there's like a local panto happening in like a week or so, and today was the get-in, the load-in, however you want to phrase it. So, we're moving in scenery, staging, all that kind of stuff. And I've been doing this for like an hour or two, take a little break, going home, have some lunch and whatnot, but also try and do a bit more work. And I then look at my phone when I get back, and I have a message from Andy which simply says, "Hey, I've got some news for you." Then has the link to this article on screen, and just says, "I now work for TOHO," and I just went, "What?"
Oh, I don't feel quite as bad then. I thought I'd stolen his thunder. I thought he was gonna like keep you hanging, and then I was like, "Hey, Jeremy, guess what?"
No, but the thing he made clear as well, much like you said about Keith, is this is a very recent development.
Well, it's only been confirmed very recently.
Yes.
It's probably been being worked on for a very long time. But like it was only confirmed today. So.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, just fantastic news. I love all those guys. Like I sort of didn't elaborate on it too much, but I got to catch up with so many of them, and it just reminded me of all the good times and just good folk and whatnot. Good times.
Joe, I was actually thinking this is not an Anime Limited related thing, and I can't remember when this was, but me and Keith were like had come down for an expo or something, and this was before you worked for Anime Limited, Jeremy. So I don't actually know when this was, but it would have been a while ago.
I joined January 2015.
So it would have been before that. So it would have been before me and Keith lived up here as well. And I can't remember who it was who just said, it might have even been Andrew, who's just like, you need to go and like hang out in this, go over to this hotel, find Jeremy from Manga and hang out with him. And I think I was just like, who's Jeremy? And they were like, oh, yeah, tall guy, works for Manga. And I was like, okay, I think I know the guy you mean.
You'll know.
And no, we just went over to the hotel, me and Keith, and we didn't know you at all. So it was all very kind of like, hello, hi, yeah, I'm Jeremy, what's going on? And I'm like, I don't know. And you were like, great. And I don't know, I think you were just not having a very good day. And I was just like, oh, that Jeremy guy's terrifying. And I'm like, don't get me wrong, I still think you're terrifying, but for different reasons. I just remembered that randomly. Oh, Keith is here, by the way. He's listening to you, so say nice things about him.
Oh, that Keith,
I was just saying to Jeremy, Keith, that like me and him are talking quite candidly about this. I'm like, can you imagine how many frothing nerds in the UK would love to have some of the like insight that me and him have, and we're just here chatting away on an open stream that nobody knows about. Literally no one.
And the other thing as well is I know more because, you know, I've been talking to a few folks as well, so I know.
Sure, yeah, you probably.
Just like you probably know a bit more as well, but because
there's stuff that I know and you know that we can't really talk
exactly.
about.
Do you know why, Claire? Because we know what the boundaries are. That's why.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And those fans do not. So
there you go. But just
for example, right? Real quick question, Jeremy. They've got a new social media lady, new lady, and she's like super young because of course you have to be to understand like the kids or whatever. And she posted a meme on the blog the other day that was just somebody bowing down and it just said, "I believe in physical media supremacy." And I was so entertained by that, you have no idea. And I went and looked at it on like Instagram or something, and I looked at the comments because I always have to, because I love how shitty the fans are. And it was just someone going, "Yeah, I agree. So when are you going to release the rest of Gundam?" And I said to Keith, I reached through that screen and I punched that person. I hope you're proud of me. And he was like, "Thank you. Thank you very much."
Thank you, Claire Sand. Thank you.
Whoa.
But
I've forgotten what the word for thank you is.
Arigato.
Arigato gozaimasu. There we go.
So just to actually read some of the quotes from this article, because I appreciate it's just been on screen for
Sorry,
ages.
I jumped in ahead of you. So you go ahead and
Japan's Toho moves to capitalize on Europe's anime boom. With Europe's $4.8 million anime market expected to double in size by the end of the decade, Japan's leading entertainment player is acquiring UK distributor Anime Limited and partnering with Germany's Plyon Pictures to extend its reach across the continent.
This is the Variety article, but reworded. I can already tell.
There you go. Japanese entertainment heavyweight Toho is stepping up its global expansion, unveiling plans Friday to establish a European headquarters, acquiring British anime distributor Anime Limited, and entering into a strategic alliance with Germany's Plyon Pictures.
You'll notice that's exactly the term I used when I talked about it as well.
The moves will see Toho Global, the company's overseas business arm, set up European headquarters in London before the end of the year, positioning a new base as a continental hub for film, television, streaming, home entertainment, merchandise, and games, all tied to Toho's animation and select live-action intellectual property. The European push...
Yeah, I mean, they have to be in London, I understand that.
Yeah.
But, like, it's good that they're not, like, making Anime Limited move, because that just wouldn't make any fucking sense.
The European push follows a busy period of overseas expansion for Toho as the company has worked to build a global operating infrastructure around its intellectual property amid the surging international popularity of Japanese anime and live-action content. In late 2024, Toho acquired the US-based animation distributor G-Kids and launched Toho Entertainment Asia in Singapore, establishing operational hubs across North America and Asia. With the addition of Europe, Toho now maintain bases in all three major regions. The timing reflects a broader surge in global demand for Japanese content, anime in particular, across both streaming platforms and theatrical markets. Japanese titles have been increasingly broken out beyond core fandoms, supported by global release strategies and event-style theatrical runs. The trend became unmistakable in 2025 when Sony Group's Demon Slayer Infinity Castle earned a staggering $715 million at the global box office.
You love to fucking see it. Sorry, Keith just went, "Oh, it must be nice."
Official quote there. Official quote.
Official quote from Keith from Anime Limited. Must be nice. With an emoji of just.
For Toho, the momentum has been especially visible through G-Kids, which has landed North American releases of recent international standouts such as Hayao Miyazaki's The Boy and the Heron and Makoto Shinkai's Suzume, both of which delivered unusually strong theatrical performances.
You call it unusually strong.
The move also comes as Europe emerges as one of the fastest growing international markets for anime. Industry estimates value the European anime sector at roughly $4.8 billion in 2024, with projections that it could nearly double by the end of the decade, expanding at a double-digit annual pace. Toho strategy is
These are hard words to say.
Toho strategy is designed to position the company to participate more directly in that growth, pairing its own distribution operations in the UK and France with Plyon Pictures' established reach across continental Europe. There you go, Keith, that's what you'll be doing. As part of the strategy, Toho Global will acquire 100% of Anime Limited from Plyon Pictures, bringing the UK-based distributor back under its bringing the UK-based distributor under its European structure. Anime Limited founder and managing director Andrew Partridge will remain with the company and join the leadership team of Toho's European regional headquarters. Quote,
yes.
We are excited to welcome Andrew and the Anime Limited team into the growing Toho family and begin our new cooperation relationship with Plyon Pictures, said Koji Ueda, president and representative director of Toho Global. He added the move accelerates Toho's international expansion timeline. Quote, we look forward to working together with our new team members and partners to bring amazing content to fans in the UK, France, and across the continent, end quote. Founded in 2012, Anime Limited operates primarily in the UK and France, handling theatrical distribution, home video, and streaming releases of Japanese animation. Its catalogue includes titles such as Attack on Titan, Jujutsu Kaisen, Neon Genesis Evangelion.
What's that?
Your Name.
Who, Jeremy?
Weathering with You. And One Piece Film Red.
Yeah. Weathering with me specifically.
There you go. The company also released Toho's, Godzilla -1 in the UK, where it became the highest grossing Japanese live action film of all time. Quote, both myself and the team have long loved working together on Toho properties, as evident from making Godzilla -1 the best Japanese live-action box office hit of all time in the UK, Andrew Partridge said. Continuing, quote, we look forward to becoming part of the Toho family and working closer and more collaboratively with its group companies to expand the interest of anime across our territories, end quote.
Andrew going to be pissing up against trees.
Alongside the acquisition, Toho Global...
I mean, he was doing that anyway. That's nothing to do with this new job.
Toho Global and Plyon Pictures have agreed to form a strategic alliance that positions Plyon as Toho's preferred partner across Germany, Italy, and other European territories, extending Toho's reach beyond UK and France. Toho said the acquisition and alliance are expected to have a negligible impact on its consolidated financial results for the current fiscal year, with the focus instead on medium to long-term growth.
Yeah, it's true. That makes sense.
Yeah. So there we go. Congratulations, Keith, if you're still in the background. Congratulations.
He's still sitting down. He's on the rug with the dog at the moment.
Oh, there you go. There you go. So yeah, folks, that is.
Would it be uncool to tell Jeremy what your initial reaction was upon hearing the news before you did anything else?
No, that's fine.
So, Keith was pulled into a meeting this morning, unexpected, but I mean, technically he's finished for the holidays. But he was like, "Well, when someone's just like, hey, come to this meeting that the entire of the thing is at, you go, right?"
So this is mandatory. This is not optional, kind of thing.
I mean, I don't think he even needed to say that, because you're like, I'm not going to insult you by making out that this is something piddling, you know. No, of course he wouldn't. But yeah, so tell me again how he said it.
I don't.
Because I was desperate to know.
Yeah,
If this is too inside baseball, Keith, feel free to not say anything.
No, he knows he can't. He knows he won't say anything. But yeah.
Yeah, no, there's nothing specific here. It's just.
I'm just trying to remember how you said he said it.
Yeah, I forget the exact wording, but when it was, we were told that we were part of Toho now.
There was a silence as everyone took that in.
And yeah, just. When you've known someone a while, and I just suddenly clicked as to what was coming next when he said he'd be joining the leadership group at Toho, and I just laughed my arse off.
Yeah, Keith did one of his terrifying laughs.
I actually had a full-on laughing fit.
There were probably people in that call who were legitimately frightened.
And yeah, because Andrew had said a few times earlier in the week, which we hadn't really clicked on, when we were, all, bidding our farewells for him leaving the company.
It was implied that he would be making a shift. Yeah.
And he said, well, and he's like, you know what it's like. The more things change, the more things stay the same.
Such a little shit. One of the few things people don't know about Andrew Partridge: the world's biggest little shit. So Keith did one of his full-on throwing his head back laughs, I can imagine, and everyone in the call's just looking at him, and Andrew's just there grinning, which is delightful, which makes me very happy. So very funny.
But it is amazing news though, genuinely. And as for the UK industry, great. This is
it literally could not be better. And the thing is, behind to use the phrase that you used a minute ago, inside baseball, there have been a lot of challenges trying to integrate with Plyon that have caused a lot of extra work for people who were already overworked, and I feel like while obviously at the start there's always a lot of adjustment to a new structure, new technology, new kind of systems you have to use. I feel like this is going to be overall better, and in the long term will lead to less stress of people having to do, busy work, if that makes sense.
I mean, put it this way, without elaborating too much, I have heard stories about perhaps certain US companies that I mentioned earlier, and perhaps how that integration process wasn't going, as it were. Let's put it that way.
Well, hopefully, lessons have been learned there then.
Right, exactly. But it's always difficult when that kind of thing happens. But as we've both said, this is only a good thing for the UK. And if people were worried, where does the anime stand in the UK? Where does anime as a whole stand in the UK? This is the marker that things are still in a great place. And
it's
support anime, quite frankly.
Sorry, go on, Jeremy. Sorry.
No, I just said and support anime. Continue to do it. Show up.
Yeah, and I mean, one of the things I was mentioning earlier, about Andrew, is the fact that he's made anime in the cinemas in the UK a thing again. I don't think that would be a thing in the UK if it wasn't for him. Nowadays, it's still quite unusual to get an anime film in the cinema, but it's still it's getting to the point where people bitch that there's not one in their local cinema. I'm like, can you imagine watching anime in the cinema in the 90s?
Even just a decade ago.
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
a decade. It's a stark contrast that is genuinely incredible.
Yeah. Sorry, Keith, what were you saying?
It would just be tent poles like Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
And Chainsaw Man.
And, so and we got to see, I think, through Andrew, a lot of ones that we wouldn't have seen otherwise. I think one of the reasons that Makoto Shinkai is so big over here is because of Your Name and stuff like that, and Silent Voice and stuff like that. I know that's not Makoto Shinkai, don't worry, don't come for me. I can't remember who did that one.
Naoki Yamada, I think it was?
Yes.
There you go.
Yes, the one who wanted to eat Tony. Okay, that's a secret. I'm not allowed to talk about that. It's okay, I didn't say who I was talking about. But yeah, and it's interesting considering this comes right on the heels of a conversation that Keith and I were having last night about the Time Warner acquisition. You've been keeping an eye on that? Yeah, right,
because that's been it was Netflix, then Paramount swooped in to do almost a hostile bid, and now seemingly that's been rejected and it's back to Netflix. Last I heard.
Yeah, no, it's very interesting because on a business level, it's very dry, right? Very dry. But if you actually look into the people involved, you'll realize, they just really suck. So, do you know who owns Paramount Skydance?
Not off the top of my head, sorry, no.
A guy called David Ellison. He's the son of Larry Ellison, who owns. He has a terrible thing called a centimillionaire, which is not quite a billionaire, but he's got 100 million. Now he is one of the richest men ever, and he basically just made Paramount Skydance to give to his son as a present, which is insane to me, because these people are insane. And it's very interesting, watching Netflix and Paramount jockey for Time Warner, because although I think actually on the surface, looking at it creatively, it would probably be slightly better for Paramount to get it, because although David Ellison is probably going to be shit at it, he actually does want to be a movie person, whereas the guy who runs Netflix has no fucking soul, none at all. But it's really weird because the guy who owns Time Warner, I want to say, he basically made all of his money doing reality TV. Is that the same guy? Yeah, like 90 Day Fiance and stuff like that. That's where he made all his money from. Let me just check that that's the right thing. His name's David Salvas or David Salzas.
Salzas.
Salzas, not Salvage. Saz? What is his name? Zaslav, that's his name. Yeah. David Zaslav, the CEO and president of Warner Brothers Discovery. Yeah. But he was originally a corporate lawyer. He's never been a creative. And so there's him in charge of Time Warner, and there's another soulless homunculus, Ted, whatever his name is, who owns Netflix. And I'm like, these two guys talk the same language. And even though the Ellisons have got more money than God, Netflix doesn't want to sell to them, you know, because they just don't. And it's not going to be good for anyone, like literally. And if you compare that to like, it's not quite the same, obviously it's not on the same scale with Toho acquiring Anime Limited like this, but it's just nice to know that in some kind of like creative industries we aren't all just like laying down in front of the big AI steamroller and being like, come Susa Todd, you know? Come Sweet Death, for anyone who was wondering what that meant. Yeah, okay, baby. But yeah, I tell you what, if you listen to that, thank you. If you listen to that AI stuff after a while, you start to really like, because one of the guys on the podcast I was listening to was saying like, with everything being AI-ified, it's like, these people don't understand that creative stuff and movies and films and music and TV shows are part of how human beings talk to each other and how they connect with each other, because that can't be monetized, so they're not interested. But it's a bit like, after a few decades, we're going to find out through a gigantic social experiment what happens when you take that away. And because they made the thing of like saying like when they were trying to do AI schools for children, the children would come out the other end being able to spell perfectly, but they couldn't read. And so they're like, spell this word, and they were able to do it. And then they're like, okay, read this page, and they just couldn't. And it was just because they're being taught by machines how to be machines, and it's insane. Yeah,
I don't know if you would have seen it, but recent Doctor Who season, it was the first season with Ncuti Gatwa. Matty, I'm not sure if you're still here because I know you've had to get ready for the Damon stream. But
I'm pretty sure this entire incredibly behind the curtain thing has just been you and me talking to each other, Jeremy, which I think is very funny.
But there was an episode where they travel to a world with effectively like a society that could only function by wearing like a VR headset and being told where to go and what to do. It's very similar to that.
Like a kind of beehive.
Kind of like that, yeah. It was very, very weird. But yeah, so anime's in a good place, folks. And that's what counts.
Yeah, you know, I mean, the rest of entertainment probably isn't. But that's the one good thing about, like, that's one good thing about Japan being so far behind the world in some things, is the fact that they have not yet reached the point where everybody else in the Western world has, where it's just like everything is just a reboot or a rebrand or a remaster, or nobody's doing anything fucking new. Because it's, when you're run by bankers, all they want to see is guaranteed returns, and you can't guarantee a return on something that's brand new because it's always going to be a risk.
Oh, there you go. Stitch is there. There you go.
Stitch.
Stitch confirms that Doctor episode is weird.
But yeah, because like, you know, like, you can't guarantee a return on something that you're taking a punt on. They're not interested, which is basically leading to the hollowing out of everything. And anyone who wants to get involved in, like, you know, the creative industries is just being basically told, like, that's great, but could you make it more like Harry Potter? Or that's great, but could you make it more like Star Wars? And they're like, no. Like, I just bought a comic book, Jeremy, called Boys Weekend, which is by an author called Matty Lubchansky, who is a trans lady who lives in, I believe, New York. And she's been a guest on several podcasts, and she's very funny. In fact, do you know the comic about the bone farmer?
I might do, because that sounds familiar, but I can't place it.
It actually came out like 10 years ago now, but it was basically like it's a commentary comic on how when somebody dies, even if they were literally the worst evil person in the world, you're not allowed to be mean about them because they've just died. So it's basically like, oh, did you hear about the bone farmer? Yeah, I heard he died. Oh, so sad. And then it cuts to a guy who's literally just like a pile of organs in a jar, going, well, I'm not that worried about it. Honestly, I thought the guy was an asshole. You know? And they're like, Tim, he's just died. And he's like, I don't care that he just died. He farmed my bones. Do you guys not remember? He's like, yeah, but he's just died, Tim. Not cool. So I didn't realise that comic's been doing the rounds for years. She's actually done an update to it, which made me laugh. But she's written a comic called Boys Weekend, which is about a recently out trans person who has been invited to be the best man at their friend's wedding. And they're just like, this is awkward because I don't identify as a man anymore, so I've got to kind of like negotiate that, but also don't want to ruin this guy's wedding. And also, oh, by the way, the hotel we're in appears to have a cult where people keep getting sacrificed. I'm like, Netflix wouldn't touch that, but I'm so excited to read it. You have no idea. And actually, Matty was on the episode I was listening to, and she was just like, wow, I love coming on here. It just makes me feel so good about her choosing to have a career in the arts. And but that's why it's always important to support, you know, small I mean, in the grand scheme of things, Anime Limited is a smaller thing. And it makes me laugh when people are just like, oh, I can't believe you haven't done this, and I can't believe you haven't done that. I'm like, yes, because when you don't understand about how a company works, you can ask them for anything. You know, it drives me absolutely bananas when they're just like... Another thing that, because I know you used to write the responses to these people if and when they ever responded to them, which was like, people would be like, when's this coming out? And I always used to look at those comments and be like, do you not think if they knew, they would tell you? They don't sit there on a little hoard of information like, oh, we'll never tell. They're trying to sell you stuff, for fuck's sake. Try it. Why do you don't assume everyone's as stupid as you are. Oh my god.
Fun story, actually. Here's an old like work thing.
Tell me.
There was a thing I always wanted to respond with to those kind of questions. And it was
just like...
no, it was. I wanted to have a GIF of the old Grolsch advert where it had the caption, "We only let you drink it when it's ready." I just wanted to respond with either a GIF or a link to a YouTube video of that advert every single time. But
I mean, that's why I would have been sacked. But this is why I've never worked for Anime Limited. I would have been sacked immediately because I would have just gone straight for that GIF. I mean, I'm still making a GIF to respond to them from earlier, which is basically Godzilla doing this, going, "Rah!" and then the Scots word Yaldi over the top of it. I commented on the frickin' blog post, but no one's approved it, and it just says, I, for one, welcome our new kaiju overlords. But I know it's not been approved because I saw another comment that got approved first, so I'm watching.
So from Anime Limited, let's change gears slightly, Claire. Let's look. Well, I say let's. We're talking long term. Let's look ahead to next year for what we're going to be doing.
Oh yeah, another important company, Claire and Jeremy.
There we go. Because I sort of mentioned a few weeks ago in passing that I sort of want to try and do a little bit more fighting game stuff, but I'm going to do that like when I can, dipping in and out of like random, probably other streams throughout the week, such as it were. Because Friday is our time. I've said that, and it will remain as such as much as possible. There will obviously be deviations here and there because life occurs, but
it does.
That is the plan. So, in terms of games that we're going to play, obviously we want to carry on and try and finish quote-unquote Somnium Files.
Yeah, at some point, yes.
Yeah, so that is still very much in the plans, as it were. Final Fantasy IX, I want to carry on with it, but realistically trying to get the four of us to be available at the same time, it's very difficult to coordinate.
Yeah, it's more like, in fairness, I don't think the others would mind me saying this, it's more you, Jeremy, because you have like so many different things on, which is absolutely fine, but because you're the person who runs it, you know, so if you're not available, then it's not happening.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that the other two understand that, but obviously everyone has other things that are on, and it's not dead, it's just on hiatus, I think would be the right
literally
way to say
I
it.
still want to do more of it and hopefully play the whole game with us as a crew. That's the plan.
Sorry, Jeremy, Discord did that thing. You still want to what?
I still want to do it, but it's just the stars need to align, and unfortunately it's difficult to get the stars to align when things are so damn busy, as it were. Yeah,
they are very busy. Things, as that very wise person once said, who I can't remember, things always happen so much.
And but on the Final Fantasy train though, I would next year like to try and have a go at us going through Final Fantasy VIII.
When you say us, do you mean you and me?
You and I, correct? Yes.
Yeah, that's fine. I like 8. I haven't played 8 in a while.
I've never finished it.
I don't think I've ever finished it either. I've got very close to the end.
I remember when I told you the story.
The only Final Fantasy I've ever finished is 10.
Remember I told you about the story in 9 of my memory card corrupting?
It's so sad.
It was one of those kind of things, but I think it was either my memory card corrupted or it went missing or it just stopped working. Like, it was one or the other. It was... But Inherent, I heard that, Catchy. I hear you in the background. But yeah, so Final Fantasy VIII is something I would like to do, and I know it would take a while to do it because it's a long game. It was 4 discs originally on the PS1.
Yeah, it's a long game and it's got great music. It's got an interest. I think they tried to be more. It's the most Western looking, I think.
Yeah, the whole gun blades and everything as well. Like, I love the concept.
Yeah, and like the characters are all really long and stringy because it's like it kind of bridges. It's a weird bridge between 7 and 9. 9 being very fantasy based, 7 being very sci-fi based, and I mean, almost Final Fantasy VIII is almost like a Western in comparison. So it's interesting.
Other games we're going to be delving into, we will be doing Ace Attorney. We'll be continuing that because we still have to do the finals.
We will finish it. We will do the Matt on guard case.
That means so much to you and nothing to me, as it were, but I'm still looking forward to delving into it because I still have no idea what's going to happen. I would probably estimate that Ace Attorney is more likely to be our Q1 game, is the way I'll phrase it.
Yeah, I'd like to go back to that. It's time, and I know for a fact that a few people have said to us that they've avoided our Somnium Files ones because they want to play Somnium or something, and they're worried about spoilers, and so they're like, I really love you guys, but I can't,
Yeah.
So and I know for a fact that Ace Attorney's a way older game, so
Exactly, and we totally appreciate the spoiler thing as well. Like, it's always a double-edged sword with that kind of thing.
It is.
And another thing I want to do.
Poison chalice, as Patrick.
There you go. Another thing I want to do at some point is, as I mentioned a few weeks back, delve into the game Skies of Arcadia.
Now this was really interesting when you said this on the phone, Jer. You were talking about like ramping up to launch Skies of Arcadia, which I thought was a really fun idea, and I would love to do like some art for that or something. Tell me, walk us through your process, Joe.
So I think I mentioned to you that I want to do a stream where I'm almost modifying a GameCube, because there's like,
or rather getting a GameCube ready to play.
Exactly, because I've got, hang on, where is it? I've got it next to me, bear with me. It's under boxes, I can't grab it. But yes. But yeah, I've got like the hard copy now on the GameCube. I have the Dreamcast copy, but my Dreamcast is buggered. But I've got a it's gonna sound really weird to phrase it this way. I've got a spare GameCube because I bought one with the intention of modding it so we could play the game. But now I've been able to get a hard copy. I might not have to worry about that too much, but I want to get, there's like a mod thing you can get called a flippy drive.
That's what it was called. I can never remember what it's called.
Yeah, and it's a solderless mod essentially for your GameCube that means that you can do a lot of things with it. And I sort of want to get that and a few other bits and bobs, and I want to do a stream where I modify my GameCube, and like for someone who's like very doing that kind of stuff illiterate, I think it will just be funny more than anything to see me panicking over various things.
How would you do this? How would it be set up? Because would it be top down? Would you do it that way?
I'd probably do it like it was a card stream, I imagine.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if that's the best angle. Is
Probably,
it?
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah,
I don't know,
right.
but yeah, that's my thinking of doing that, and then sort of then modifying the GameCube, but also making sure the GameCube still works, quite frankly, because that'd be another important element.
Always important to check that. Yes.
Indeed, and then we can then play Skies of Arcadia and probably more GameCube games as loads, because also Pokemon Colosseum, I've got a hard copy of that. And in theory, that's also coming to the Switch 2 online thing. No one knows freaking when, so that's also on the docket of a game that I want to check out with you, because Pokemon JRPG that I've played a decent chunk of, but that was when it first came out. And that was a long time ago, so I remember nothing of the story. Let me look it up. When was it released? Pokemon Colosseum.
Colosseum?
So Pokemon Colosseum was released in 2004.
A classique.
So that has been a long time. And there was a sequel as well, which I've never played, admittedly. So, but yeah. So there's lots of games on the horizon. But I think like Somnium is probably going to be the most recent game we play on stream, I imagine.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you want to do with Somnium because obviously there's all those different routes. Like, we've only done one, and there's, I think, 5 in total?
Yeah, because I think we spoke about this a while ago, but I think our intention for Somnium would be it on a Friday, or we can pick a different day when we both happen to be available. We basically just do a stream where we finish Somnium.
What, do all of it?
Just, we finish the rest of it in one night.
So all the other
routes, we literally just do one big bumper stream, so we can then say we have got through it, we know exactly what happens.
Okay, right.
That's a thought I've had in mind. Obviously, we need to plan it out very tactically, like when's the best time for us to do it and such.
Yeah, yep.
Or it might be we do it over a weekend or something, like we pick a couple of days where it's like, right, we'll do like 2 days of streams, we're just going to finish Somnium, sort of thing.
Don't question it, shut up.
There you go. But yes, that's a lot of games on the
schedule.
Yeah, as it were, like Ace Attorney, Skies of Arcadia, Final Fantasy VIII, Somnium, Colosseum. There's a lot there, but yeah, I think it's safe to say that come January...
I promise Jeremy won't say it as Colosseum all the way through. He might start playing it, but he'll get bored.
It's no Rotom phone.
Well, that's actually correct, as much as I hate it.
I didn't even know it was correct. I said it as a joke.
No, I'm pretty sure that is how you say it. Because didn't they say it in like some of the things, and you were like, haha, she said it that way. I'm like, yes, Jeremy, because that's. I know,
100%, but I didn't realize it was correct when I said it though. I said it.
Oh, you were just doing it to be a shit.
Your words, not mine.
Accurate words.
So yeah, so I think it's safe to say that come January, we're gonna be starting Ace Attorney again. We're gonna get back on that train. We will do this. You and I will be on the Ace Attorney train. We're aiming to do like a chapter a week like we've been doing, unless like one chapter is very short.
We can find out why the last one ended with our boyfriend. Do you remember?
Oh yes, because I nearly called him Edward Nigma, and that's not his name. That's Riddler from Batman.
Nigma? No, that's Riddler, isn't it?
What's he called?
Edgeworth.
That's it, Edgeworth. I've not thought about it in so long. It's just gone out my brain. We can find why Edgeworth returned. From that little stinger.
Yeah, how, like, because he buggered off, didn't he? And he left a really dramatic note. And then all the way through, like, that last thing, every time Maya was like, yeah, so what the fuck happened there? Phoenix would be like, I don't want to talk about that, Maya. Like, in the only thing he's serious about in the entire game.
And, I should also note, folks, I do also own Ace Attorney 3 because that was part of that trilogy. That's not to say we're going to stop at Ace Attorney 2. It's just we sort of need to cleanse the palate, as it were, sometimes.
Yeah, because Ace Attorney 1, 2, and 3 are all about Phoenix, right? And then
I'll take your word for it.
Like Dual Destinies or something where they have it. Basically, there are 3 where Phoenix is the protagonist. And then there's one where there's a girl who's the protagonist, and then there's another one where there's a younger guy who's the protagonist. But I mean, it's in the same universe and it's the same characters in the background, but like they take the center stage and they have their own kind of like magic powers or whatever.
And then there's like side stories and stuff as well they've been releasing, like the Chronicles, whatever it was called. The one they released last year. The one where it had that's the one where we first found out in French that the gumshoe is called Detective.
Oh, Detective, yeah, that's Investigations, Edward.
There you go, that's the one, Investigations.
That's the one where, you know how in Phoenix Wright everyone's always innocent? Well, in this one, everyone's always guilty.
So yes, those are kind of the games on offer. Another thing I want to trial us doing... Oh, actually, before that, I'll say, Fun Card Friday will continue, but I'm probably going to limit that to maybe like every 6 to 8 weeks. Maybe kind of like when we've like finished a project or something, or we just need like a week's break.
Yeah, it can be like a spacer.
Yeah, it can sort of be like a palate cleanser week, as it were. Because I love opening cards, but it does come a point where there just comes a point where it's a bit too much. Or I might do a...
you don't want to do it all the time.
Yeah, or I might do like a separate Fun Card Friday stream or something, you know, just like a random thing, as it were. Because again, Friday nights are our time. This is our fun zone.
As my grandfather would say, Friday night, our music night.
There you go, there you go. But this also then brings me to another idea I've had, because one thing we wanted to do ages ago, Claire, and we sort of weren't able to do this because
because your thing wouldn't work.
Yeah, because my thing wouldn't work. We wanted to try and like almost do like a weekly watch along in some ways, or like a discussion of Dragon Ball Daima as it was airing. But then we couldn't watch it together online, even though it was a very easy way of doing it. Just security BS, as it were.
It just didn't work for some reason.
Yeah, it just didn't want to work. But I've come up with a very, very simple concept that no one's ever thought of doing, Claire. Nobody at all.
No, lay it on me, Jer.
tentative working title, but obviously can be figured out. It can be our anime club, as it were. There may be like a Jeraffemy, I don't know. Jeraffemy.
We can workshop this. It's not important.
The Jeraffemy anime club.
Hate it. Go on.
Where we may just like delve into an anime, like watch like the first 3 episodes, and then we'll just talk about it and say what we thought. Do we want to continue watching it?
I like that idea. Yeah, and the good thing is we don't have to worry about like licensing or anything because we will be watching it off stream.
Exactly. Very much we discuss it on stream, not watching it on stream.
But then what will happen is presumably I'm taking Jeremy's idea and running with it here. Presumably we will let people know how often we're going to do this, and we'll say if you want to join us, and this is your homework, go and watch the first 3 episodes of this, or if you already have, I can tell you that we're going to be discussing the first 3 episodes of this, you know. So then people can come along ready to kind of like
chime in, give thoughts as well.
Contribute is the word I was looking for.
There you go.
Contribute to discussion. There we go.
Once again, you are the wordsmith and I am not.
I like that idea. I do. That makes me very happy because it would also mean that you and I would actually have an excuse to watch some shit.
Exactly, and also, quite frankly, just for the nature of like my sort of non-existent work-life balance, it also means I can watch a lot of stuff which I've just not seen. Like, truth be told, like the past 3-4 years, really the only anime I've watched is whatever I've been working on for work.
Yeah, well, I think that was probably the same before, wasn't it? When you were working for like Anime Limited, because you were doing like so much QC, and I'm like, there comes a point where you're like, I don't actually think I've read any of this, but I have read it, but I haven't read it. Like, I can't enjoy it. There's no enjoyment here.
Exactly, and that's why I think this could be good fun. It could be stuff that again is like under a year old. It could be a good few years old. We can really just cherry pick like. Streaming services got so many titles. It's also kind of a way of knowing if there are some titles available in places.
This is very true. This is a quick aside. It's not to do with anime. It's the fact that, I mean, we joke about like I believe in physical media supremacy, but for example, like, while I obviously like cards on the table, I have a vested interest in physical media doing well because my husband works for a physical media company. There is like a really good reason that you shouldn't just fully rely. Like I think I told you, Jeremy, about the guy I spoke to who has no physical media player.
Yes, it was the person who was working on your house, wasn't it?
Yeah, the guy who was doing my, who was working for British Gas on my house, and it was just like, he was just like, oh no, I can't take this DVD from you, and I was like, oh, I'm really sorry, I don't have a Blu-ray to offer you. He's like, no, it's fine, I don't have a Blu-ray player either, and I'm like, it just seemed too weird to me because I'm like, I would expect anyone to have like, even if they don't have like a Blu-ray player, to have like some kind of console or something. But no, apparently it's getting more and more common for people to not have any of that. But the problem comes where, for example, the new She-Ra Princess of Power is about to be removed from Netflix. There are no plans for a physical release. There is, and if it doesn't ever get like picked up again, it will become lost media, just like that. Like, lost media used to happen by accident, and now it's going to happen because people just don't care. And I'm sure ND Stevenson won't... What are you looking at me like that for?
No, I was about to say something, but I was going to let you finish speaking, so I didn't want to cut you off.
So ND Stevenson, who is the person who wrote it, and I think also wrote Nimona, he was basically saying, like, watch it, enjoy it, catalogue it, because you're the only ones now who've given us a shit about this kind of stuff to be its legacy. And then he just wrote, and of course there's always this emoji and just a little picture of a pirate flag. And I was just so entertained because I'm just like, the thing is, right, I actually recommended to a friend of mine a show called Dead End Paranormal Park, which is on Netflix at the moment and is one of my favorite shows, honestly. I'm wearing socks that are from that show right now, and I said, and my friend sort of messaged me, and it became clear he hadn't seen it. So I said, you should go and watch this, it's really good. And he said, thanks, it's just I don't have Netflix anymore, and I don't feel right pirating, stuff like that, as in LGBT stuff. Part of me is like, this is arguably the only stuff you should, because I get what you're saying, but it's not like you're taking money away from the creators. They've already had whatever meager amount of money was given to them. And now they're more interested in having their thing survive,
Yeah,
physical media, and also, like, that was a bit off topic, but you know what I mean.
No, I get it. But what I was going to say to that is that, like, the phrase catalogue that you said in that message, it's like, catalogue is the unpirate based way of saying exactly what I was thinking. as it were.
Catalog.
But
literally,
also archive.org, you can find so many things that are in essence lost, but they're not because someone's made an archive of it somewhere.
But it's so weird to me that like lost media, like I said, used to be a thing that was just seen as a tragic oversight, like we've lost this is terrible, whereas now it's just like we don't care enough because we can just make more, because that is literally how they feel about things. We can just make more things.
The thing is, lost media as a concept, though, what that means has been very twisted. To go on a complete tangent now, because to riff on what you were saying, like an oversight type of thing. Lost media is when something definitely existed, but there is no known copy of it. So hypothetically, I think one off the top of my head. Apparently, there was this is a random tangent. I don't know why I know this, but it's in the back of my brain. So there was a Futurama preview episode. It was like the very first episode of Futurama. In America, I think it may be like around the time of the Super Bowl or something. They did like a preview airing of the first episode.
God, that must have been years ago. Like
literally, and I think the show then began airing like the following year or something, hypothetically. I can't remember the timeline, but it's something like that.
It was probably 98 then. Yeah.
There you go. And within that episode, there are people who recalled there being a different dialogue line in one particular scene that was then different in all future airings or releases.
Oh, I remember this because I'm pretty sure. Yeah, go on. Sorry, carry on.
So, of course, people are like, well, there's got to be evidence of this. Like, why are so many people saying it? Unless everyone's just doing like a big troll job. And so people kept trying to find, like, is there a tape somewhere? Has someone just maybe, is that just like a lot of tape somewhere that people just got in a box? And, sometimes preview tapes like that people take home, or they build little collections. There's just like a storage container. And I remember finding a video about it on YouTube, and someone managed to, I think, saw someone from a local TV station was just selling a job lot of tapes, and they just said, what's that Futurama tape you've got? Yeah. And in essence, they did a deal for the Futurama tape, and they they were trying to right, if this is it, I have to basically prove beyond like a shadow of a doubt that I have not doxed this in any way. So they basically got a VHS. They got a VHS video recorder, if you will. Put the tape in. They hooked it up to a CRT TV. They got like their digital. They got their camera, just like with a time code at the bottom, demonstrating they've not stopped this at any point, and they just filmed their TV with the volume on full. And that was. It
wasn't a line. I think it was whether a shadow was visible or not.
It was whether a shadow. It was whether a shadow was visible, or and if a line of dialogue was different. And on this tape, the shadow was still present, but
the shadow's always been there.
But the line of dialogue was different, and it was something to do. It may have been, forgive the phrasing, I can't remember. It's either when Fry's about to ride the travel tube for the first time, or when...
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
No, I remember, because something had just happened and they were like, this is uncool, we need to change it.
Yeah, I think maybe like a presidential figure had passed away in America or something. It was something along those lines. And
no, that's right. I remember now.
Yeah, and that was an example of lost media having been found because there was no known copy of it. I think another example is in a similar scenario. There was like a preview version of the first episode of Pokemon that aired around the US on like syndicated TV stations. And no one can find that version of it because seemingly there is something ever so tiny different about it. It may have been the intro sequence. It may just be the way a scene played out. There's or like a line of dialogue, but no one, I think, can find that version of it. So that is considered lost media. But now there are people out there that just regard as, this concert was filmed. It's not come out. It's lost media. It's like, no, they just didn't release it. Lost media.
But they have the ability to release it, whereas somebody who made something for Netflix and Netflix just tosses it in the bin. The creator does not have the ability to make it. Do you know what I mean?
Oh no, totally agree. But the idea that if people say, "Oh no, that was recorded," the fact it's not been released is lost media. It's like, no. Lost media is something that was available to the public that is then totally gone.
I've got it, Jeremy. I've got it. So, when he goes into the transport tube...
This is Futurama, right?
Yes. it now says Radio City Mutant Hall. What it used to say was JFK Junior Airport.
That was
which was just a joke, because obviously we have JFK Airport. And JFK Junior Airport was just funny because it was like, it's the future, blah, blah, blah. And by sheer horrible coincidence, JFK Junior had just died in a plane crash in July of 99. So they were like, let's not do that. So interestingly, it is available in the special features of the season 1 DVD box set, which is interesting. And David Cohen has said in the DVD commentary that they changed the line in subsequent airings, so that's interesting. But yeah, all the news from it is like from the last few years, so it clearly is not that old news.
Yeah, it's very, very recent that the tape was discovered, and that proven correct, if you will, is the way to phrase it.
It's interesting because obviously the people who run the show, they were like, yeah, that happened. Why is nobody asking us? We could have told you.
But also back in the 90s, like, heck, this is like a work-related thing. I've got to be a bit coy on what I'm talking about, but I've been working on something from the 90s recently, and the way things were archived back then were not necessarily with the intent of 20 years down the line, people are going to want to see all this.
Yeah, no, I agree. I get you. But there's also a very interesting effect, which I'm sure you're aware of, which is the Mandela effect, where people are so convinced that they saw something, you know. Now, I came across this recently because this is very silly. I was watching a comedy podcast and I found one section of it particularly funny, and it made reference to a video clip where President Obama grabs a fly out of the air, right? And everyone was like, whoa, you know. And I was just all I was doing was putting subtitles on this particular thing, but I thought it'd be really funny to find that clip and just have it like playing, like just in the background of the video, because I had a video of the people talking. So I went to look for it, and apparently this is a common Mandela effect issue. There is no video of President Obama catching a fly out of the air. It doesn't exist. But people swear blind that it did, right? And what he did do was, during an interview, a fly was buzzing around and it landed on his arm, and he just sort of went, got it, you know. But he didn't grab it out of the air, but people will swear blind they saw him grab it out of the air. It didn't happen, you know. And there were actually, people were getting quite heated in the Reddit thread talking about it, and I'm like, but it didn't happen, you know. It's easier with some things to prove or disprove them. With that one, it's harder because it's like, oh no, that's just not the right interview, you know, that kind of thing.
It's almost like the old game you used to play at school, like Chinese Whispers. Like,
yeah, exactly, yeah, like Papa Monkey Dishwasher or whatever.
There you go.
But yeah, I didn't realize until I was a good 20 minutes into trying to find this clip that it doesn't actually exist because it never happened. But the weird thing is, the people who were talking about it in that podcast clearly thought they'd seen it. And they aren't alone. So I'm like, what did they see? Because it was way too early for AI. So I don't know what they're talking about. If they did see something, what was it? You know, very interesting.
But yes, the whole lost media thing, it's a very interesting way that's been twisted, because there was another example of it recently, which I can't remember what it was, but it's
maybe it would be more accurate to say about the things like She-Ra. They're not lost media, they're purposely discarded media.
Yeah, and honestly, the main thing with that is
uncared for media.
And the main thing with that, and I stand by this with everything, is you just want to be able to watch things legally.
Yeah,
it shouldn't be that difficult to be able to watch something legally, quite frankly.
No, it shouldn't. And I'll admit, in the past, I've been very kind of black and white about this kind of stuff. But I'm like, when I look at it, I'm like, no, because they're not playing fair. So why should we? You know? I'm very much, this is partly my ADHD and partly I'm just like, if a rule's stupid, it's dumb, you know, I'm not following it kind of thing. 1 second, Katya, now that you're all limber and better and you're licking yourself, I'll kill you. There we go.
If that was on your bingo card for the week, folks, you may check that out.
Great times.
Oh, I was going to say, you know what we should do at some point? We should try and do a game where we have a bingo card of things that may or may not happen.
Oh, in the game?
Yeah, literally. We should just say, right, so what are the most random things that could occur? It's like Jeremy hits the wrong button. That's a bingo square.
Oh, you mean stuff that we do? Yeah.
Well, and in the game, it could be anything. But it could be good fun to do that.
If you had this, you'd won a Toyota Prius.
Would I fit in it though? That's the bigger question.
Oh, it's not like, what's that tiny little thing called? Is it a Miata?
Possibly,
it's like the
yeah.
world's tiniest coupe. They had like a 6-foot guy go around in it, and he literally could see over the top of the windscreen and was getting like bugs in his face. He's like, "This is the worst car. I hate it." It was very funny.
But
I think it is called a Miata or a Miata.
that sounds right. It's a name I've heard said quite a few times, but I've never
it's
really.
Like, the comedically small coupe.
There you go. There you go.
Ooh.
But yeah, so honestly, folks, we're not going to do a massively long stream tonight. We just thought we'll have a little bit of a chin wag, a bit of a chill. So we're probably going to gradually start bringing things to a close because
yeah, because we got lots of other stuff going on, which is where all of our watches are. Let's be honest. Is like
exactly. We wanted to at least check in, sort of have this be in the archive, if you will, in the ether.
Someone was talking, Jeremy, about you planning a Christmas Day stream. Is this how I find out? Are you still doing that, or what's happening?
I think it's because I've done it the past couple of years. I've just sort of gone online for like an hour or two.
I'm game. I'm not going to be here, but I will be in a place that, I might get interrupted by like my nieces and nephews, which could be fun, depending on what we end up doing, and depending what time it is, obviously, because if it's beyond their bedtime, then that being said, we are staying off-site, as it were, so I could do it if it was... But I know you like to do it during the daytime, so...
Yeah, I think I tend to do it Christmas morning, I think, is when I've done it before, because it's sort of like...
I'm cool to join, just keep me informed, okay?
Yeah, that's cool. I hadn't actually laid in total plans for that, because Christmas Day at
the
rate is
only reason
going...
I mention it is because I think Matty mentioned it on the Under Consultation Pod Waffle Call, which was the last one of the year, and he mentioned about the fact that, not everybody has a great Christmas lined up, and that's not their fault. There are alternatives, like go and hang out on Jeremy's stream like he sometimes does. I said to clarify, because not everyone on the Waffle Call knew who you were, obviously. I said me and Jeremy, we streamed together. I said he's not a massive fan of Christmas, although he has come around a bit more in the last few years when he's allowed to have a big fat curry, which everyone should have. But I said, he offers an alternative hangout on Christmas Day for those of us who may be looking for an excuse to like hide or whatever. And it's sad how many of us this age are still like kind of uncomfortable in our own homes at Christmas, which sucks. We'll always be there to hang out with you if you need us.
Yeah, now you mention it, I sort of hadn't laid in full plans on that, just because at the rate it's going Christmas Day.
You don't feel pressured if you didn't want to do it.
Oh no, it's more just going to be because I sort of haven't thought that far ahead. Like, I've just been so busy like the past week or so. Further.
Fun fact, I was trying to get one little tiny piece of work done before I signed. Technically I finished work yesterday, but I was trying to get one little tiny piece of work done before I fully logged off today. And it's to book a flight to where we're having a meeting in February. And due to the fact that it's being booked for someone who's not part of our organisation, but it's being paid for by our project money, what this person has requested is that we book the flight for her business class, and then she will refund the difference between business and economy.
Yeah.
So the project will only pay for economy, but she'll fly business, if that makes sense.
They'll pay the upgrade fee, essentially.
Yeah, literally that. And I was going to book it, Jeremy, I honestly was, but do you want to know by what factor the business class flight was more than
it was probably good, like
class?
6 or 7 times more, I imagine.
Not quite that, it was 4 times as much.
Okay, yeah.
Which meant that it was in 4 figures, and I was scared because it went from being under $1,000 to being nearly 3.5 grand, and I was like, I'm just going to check that you're okay with this, because at the end of the day, the money does originally come out of our account, and I don't want to spend that much money unless you're sure. And then I got a bunch of like, I'm at the office. I'm like, fine, I tried, and then I'm just like, it's next year's problem now.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But you definitely tried, and there's evidence you tried. That's the main thing.
Yeah, I probably should have tried earlier in the week, but that's neither here nor there. So.
Paper trails are both a blessing and a curse sometimes.
I didn't. I made the mistake of not being rich enough that it didn't matter what I wrote in my emails.
But on the Christmas Day stream, sort of thinking about it more and more, I do want to do one now you've mentioned it, because again, I just haven't really thought that far ahead. So I will.
That's Matty's fault for bringing it up in the waffle call.
I will conjure up some things. I don't know what exactly. I might play a game for a bit. Actually, you know what? I might have a box of Pokemon cards. Maybe I'll make it a.
Ooh, knowing you.
Maybe I'll make it a fun. Hang on. Fun cardmas. No, I don't want Christmas parody because there's no Christmas involved. What day is Christmas Day even on this year? I legit don't know.
Why don't you call it the day before unboxing day? It's a shame it's not Boxing Day, because then it would have been Unboxing Day.
Do you know, in fairness, actually, Christmas Day is on a Thursday, I've now discovered, because I genuinely didn't know. So maybe I'll call it Fun Card Thursdays, or fun, like THUN. Fun Card Thursday.
Oh
yeah,
God.
I might do that, actually, and I'll load up a game or something.
Amazing thing that's happening.
So then I'll, yeah, you know what? I might do that. I might attempt to procure some cards as well that I've been meaning to get hold of, like some packs and stuff. And we'll see what unfolds. And otherwise, okay. I mean, honestly, I genuinely, I've not touched it since we last checked it out on stream. I might even check out Legends Are on stream again, maybe. Much to your chagrin.
Fair enough. I know the DLC has come out now.
Yeah, I think there's like a mystery gift thing actually as well, which I should probably try and get. I think.
I actually made it. I made a gift to celebrate the DLC coming out.
Did you?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you know anything about the DLC, but it's basically like it's like set in older version of Lumiose where everything's in black and white.
I have no idea, to be fair, so that's really cool to hear.
Well, one of my friends was like, do I want to pay 40 quid to play the same game in black and white? I've decided I do not. And I basically got the, do you know what, I'm going to send it to you on WhatsApp so you can laugh at it, Joe.
Do you want me to laugh about it on stream?
Oh, okay, hang on.
Oh, yeah, do it later, that's fine, because we'll sign off in a second and we'll go and raid.
No, I'm just going to send it to you on WhatsApp while I remember. But it was basically just said Happy DLC Day, and it had someone flicking a switch, and everything in the picture just becoming black and white. Because I'm a troll. Oh my God. Anyway, I mean,
Claire,
so should we wrap it up and go?
Yeah, sure. I mean, maybe on Christmas Day, Claire, maybe I'll actually open my Switch too. How about that as a concept?
That is crazy. You're all crazy over here.
No, that's the way my life goes. But yeah, folks, we're gonna wrap it up there now. I will once again, if I can find it, share the link to Damus. We're gonna be raiding them in just a few mementos time. But for those who are still here, of course. Where is that link gone? Oh, that is what has happened with that. So there we go. That is the Damus link, folks. So you can find out in the chat. We're going to be raiding the Decadane in a moment, but thank you so much for joining us, be you here for a little bit, the whole thing, or if you're watching after the fact. Really, really appreciate it. Given next week is Christmas, let's be logical about this. So I'll try and do something Christmas Day. I've decided that now I know next week is Christmas. The Boxing Day, what is my calendar looking like? I'm trying to remember now. I genuinely don't remember. I will say there will be a stream on Boxing Day. It might be during the day, it might be the evening, I don't know. Claire, obviously you do not have to be about for that, as it were, but I'll keep you in the loop.
Just keep me informed. I've sent you the gift now, Jeremy, you can enjoy that.
Alright, I'll tell you what, just for you, I'll look at it on stream, as it were. I don't know, I can't bring it up.
It's very silly, it's like a 2-frame gift.
I can't bring it up on stream, no folks, I'm sorry, but yep, that's...
It's just very silly.
There you go, that's good.
There you go, enjoy that.
But yes, if you want to find Felflowne online, the place to do it is, of course, linktr.ee/fel... Oh, excuse me. Choked. I'll try again. The best place to do that is linktr.ee/Felflowne. There you can find all of their wares and such and what they're doing.
Yes, their wares, their whereabouts.
There you go. And as for me, linktr.ee/Jeraffemy. That's where you can find various links of non-essential things relating to me. And I will also attempt, Claire, you know what I'll do? I'll say this now. The Boxing Day stream, I will bring pictures to show to class of my Christmas Day curry.
Oh, that sounds great, yeah.
And I'm going to make everyone want a curry.
I'm tuning in just for that, honestly.
There you go. So yeah, folks, at the rate it's going in, there'll be 2 streams next week. We'll do at least a little one on Christmas Day, and then there'll be a Boxing Day stream. Be it with one or the both of us, there will be some kind of stream going on the Jeraffemy. I nearly called it Empire. It's not an empire. If anything, it's like...
Jeraffemy Empire!
Giraffe Empire. No, I'll let you workshop that. You're the brains behind the bunch. So, thank you so much for joining us, folks. I'm going to initiate the raid button.
Here we go.
Let me see if I can find it quickly, because technology...
I'm going to join the stream on my phone so I can be in the raid and feel like I'm included.
Let's see if that begins to activate things. Okay, cool. We are going to be raiding in a few mementos. And with that being said, folks... Thank you so much for joining us. have a lovely week. If you're on holes now, just have a chill time. Take some time to chill. That is the main thing that everyone should be doing. Until next week, I've been Jeremy. That's been Claire. This has been the Fun Zone. Let's look forward to 2026, and we will be speaking to you again very soon. I clearly need some food because I'm slurring my words. Talk to you soon, folks. Bye.